Good evening everyone, how are you all doing tonight? We are back for live for more actions for CRL tonight here for round 6 at Suzuka, Japan, and I will be joined here in the commentary box shortly by Val Fury once he's done doing whatever he's doing. But yep, we are here for long qualifying and a 27 lap race. Going to be an absolute fantastic race tonight, or it could be the other way around because you know what Japan's like. And so many iconic memories around here as well. This track is iconic and we've had so many memories at Suzuka, especially between Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna with the year they took each other out, and they came together the year after as well. So yeah, this track has provided some good action we've seen in the past, but in terms of these modern cars it is quite difficult because this, especially with these twisty and technical parts of the track, because Suzuka is really difficult, especially with this new update as well on the game with the handling. I think drivers are struggling with the handling of the car around here because I think they've tweaked it a bit. Not quite sure, but we'll see how the drivers handle it tonight because yeah, we'll find out. So Suzuka then, a 27 lap race. The first event was held in 1987. The track is 5.8 kilometers long with 17 turns, and the net pit loss is 21 seconds. And the tyre strategy, I know most people are going to be starting on the softs anyway because it is not much of a tyre degrading track, but the strategy is soft and medium. If you make it 10 laps on the softs, you can hop over to the medium tyres. If you decide to pit early on the soft compound tyres, then we could see some hard runners, or it could be mediums to softs or mediums to hards. But I think the strategy will be softs to mediums anyway. I don't see the hard tyre being used at this track unless people make a mistake early on in this race and go for the hards at the end and pray for late safety cars. So 19 runners then in this session. I know some people are dreading this track, but we'll find out how it goes as we're about to ready up then for long qualifying. So history then, we're going to go back to previous races here in CRL. So Walter was your last week's race winner. He finished first ahead of Jeroen Visser. There was a fantastic race between the two, but Jeroen Visser could not pull the move off on Walter as he kept it both being on different tyres. AJ finished in third place, kept it nice and clean with less penalties. He overtook Nathan on the last lap of the Grand Prix. ISO Night, his best finish in CRL, he finished in 4th place ahead of Nathan. Louis Ladd finished 6th last week ahead of Seagull Gamer. DC got himself into the top 10. Duel finished P9 ahead of Het Bompier. Harvey Lees, who's no longer here, finished in 11th place ahead of Foul Fury. Nemo, who returns this weekend, was finished 13th ahead of Danny Boy, and there were 6 DNFs. In the championship standings then, Walter maintains his lead with 79 points. He's got a big margin ahead of Jeroen Visser. P's in P3. He's 3 points ahead of Het Bompier, who's had a good form this season. AJ in P5 after his podium. He joined points with Rudy. Seagull Gamer in P7. Rudy got disqualified. He could have gained a few more points after that Canadian Grand Prix because he was running in the top 3. But that disqualification means he scored no points and he did not move further up in the championship like he was supposed to, but still got some races to come. Seagull Gamer P7. Tim Skepop in 8th place ahead of Duel and DC in P10. So both McLarens are in the top 10 in the championship, with Nathan Booth this season not gone as well as we would have thought he would, judging by last season's performance. He's currently 11th ahead of Harvey Lee just by 1 point now. Mark also was another one to keep an eye on. Is he here? Mark? Is he here? I'm trying to look. No, he's not here for tonight's race, so he won't be improving his position. He's got to watch out for Orange and Gamma, who also isn't here for tonight's race. ISO Night got a whole chunk of points after scoring that good result at Canada. He is 16th ahead of Louis Ladd and Mr. BT. Danny Boy in 18th, iNemo and Steban. Is Steban's not here? Yes, he is. Steban's here tonight and he's got 0 points, because that's interesting because I've seen Steban in the top 10, but he must have something must have gone wrong down the line as he was racing. We know he's got some decent pace on him, but he hasn't been that consistent this season. Like his teammate has, Seagull Gamer. So the first man out of the track is an AlphaTauri. I'm just trying to figure out who it is as I go on board with him now. It is Cam Dude. So newcomer in the league, welcome Cam Dude. So we'll see how he does tonight. It is Q1, so we'll see what his pace is like. Unless the Ferrari goes 3 and he lets the Ferrari go first. Nope, the Ferrari stays behind him. I presume that's Mr. BT is racing tonight, so let's see how he does then. He is 16th in the championship. He was in contention for the win at the British Grand Prix, was Mr. BT, but he picked up a late penalty on the last lap, which caused him to still finish the podium but not get the race win, because I think pressure got to him as it was the final lap and he knew he was in contention of the win. So let's see how he does tonight. Right then, so let's see how Camboy does then. Cam Dude, sorry. So I'll check the comments out before the lap starts. Good luck to you too, Nathan, and thank you, Hebompier, my weatherman. It is staying dry throughout the whole race and qualifying session. So we'll go on board with Cam Dude then, see what his lap time is like as he makes his way around the final corner. DRS wide open now. We've seen 2018 between Charles Leclerc and Kevin Magnussen when they came into contact here on the straight. Coming down into turn 1 then. Yeah. Oh, he goes a bit wide. I think he compromised his line into turn 2, so he's lost a lot of time and he's gone off the track already. So not a good starting point for Cam Dude there, as he's completely messed up his lap in the first 2 corners. Quite difficult. Turn 1, which closely follows by turn 2 immediately. I'm just going to have to see who's on a lap here. It's not letting me change. There we go, I managed to get off him. So I think Ferrari has made a mistake. Yes, he has. That is Mr. B2 who spun coming out of turn 3. So yeah, we've already got mistakes on this opening part of qualifying here. Q1, we've still got plenty of time to go, plenty of adjustments to be made. Seville Gamer on the medium compound tyres, his first part is a 32.4. He rides the curb through the second part of the Degner zone. Now coming through the hairpin, braking in a straight line. You don't want to touch the apex because you want to get the best line coming out of here. Straighten the car up, get on the power. I'm going to take the tightest line through here to minimise the distance. And coming through the first part of Spoon. Brake after the 50 metre board. He takes the curb, he mounts the curb, but you don't want to do that through the second part of Spoon because that will throw the car away. Make his way onto this short straight here. No DRS enabled for this short straight because we've got a 130R coming up. I believe it's still called 130R. At 12.4 in the middle sector for Seville Gamer then. Braking after the 50 metre board, ride the curve through here, flick it in for the next one. And to Griff sets the time of a 29.9 in the Red Bull. Where does Sieb go? Sieb sets a 129.1 compared to T Griff. So that's a very good lap time on the medium compound tyres for Seville Gamer. Tim, I believe he's got a Q3 ban. He goes up into P2. 3 tenths behind Seville Gamer. As Head Bompia moves up into P3, 29.8. So he's got a bit of a distance between himself and Tim. Total P's is still in the pits. AJ's out there somewhere coming through the hairpin. Dual is out of the tracks. His teammate, the real DC, who has validated it, and I presume he's made a mistake because he's off into the gravel or he's getting out of the way for people. So Walter, 28.9 on the medium compound tyres there, so that's a very good lap time. It's essentially the benchmark for those guys to beat. Where's Rudy? 32.4 in the first sector, now coming through the end of the middle sector now. Let's see what his time is in comparison to others. It's a 12.5 in the middle sector for Rudy. Let's see what he can do there, make his way through the final 2 corners then. Nice exit from him. Oh, a bit of wheel spin there as he almost loses the back end. AJ goes quickest with a 28.8 as Rudy goes up into P4, a 10th behind Seville Gamer. So AJ, not much of a distance between himself and his teammate with a 128.8 and his teammate 128.9. So Seville Router's got some real pace on his hands tonight if he can keep that time up. We've got Jeroen Visser then aggressively making his way through Degner 1 and Degner 2. He went wide. I'm surprised that is not an invalidation because he went all 4 wheels off the track through Degner 2. Obviously, you want to use a lot of curb at the exit for support and use all of the track to get the best time. But Jeroen used all of the track and more of it than he was supposed to, and I'm surprised that's not a validation. So we got away with it. Now as he makes his way through the first part of Spoon, he doesn't mount the curb like Seville Gamer does. I think there's different lines to take towards Spoon. Not sure which is the perfect one, whether you need to take that curb or not, but we'll continue his way down to the middle sector. It's a 12.3, that's 2 tenths quicker than what Rudy managed to do in that middle sector, so expect him to be like P3 or something or above. Locks up slightly through the last 2 corners. Goes to a 5th gear. Yeah, he downshifts, so he messed up his gearing through there, and it cost him crucial time, but he still goes P3, does Giroud Vizé. He upshift a gear which he didn't want to, but lost him a better time as Duel goes into P6 then, slots in behind Rudy. Who else we got out there? We've got Total P's on the track on the medium compound tyres. We've got Steban then, as he makes his way into the pit lane, so he will not finish that lap off. Where's Total P's? Total P's has invalidated that lap time. We've got a few more drivers out on the track with the so some on the mediums, some on the softs. Mr. BT is in the pit lane, so he did not finish that lap off or go for another one after he made that mistake coming out of the garage. And Knowsley is in the is on the grid, so welcome Knowsley for CRL. I think this is your first time in Div 1 because it's the first time I've seen you. And Tegriff improves his time of a 29.4. He's about 500s away from Cam Dude, and he's done 3 laps on those tyres as well, so yeah, I think we'll have to wait and see what others do. Head Bob Pierre's out there on the track. He is spinning in the pit lane and he's lost his front wing. Has he lost his front wing? No, he's still got it, so I'm surprised he didn't lose all his front wing because he hit the wall. Did he want to go in the pit lane or not? He's done 3 laps on those set of soft compound tyres. He's quite lucky not to lose his front wing or anything like that. Maybe got a bit of damage on the front wing, but yeah, lucky that didn't get any worse than he should have been. But Head Bob Pierre's done 3 laps on those tyres. I presume he might go for another round on a brand new set because he's in 10th place and just waiting for some more drivers to improve their lap time. I've got Total P's then on a flying lap. He is on the medium compound tyres there, so let's see what he could do. He's done quite a bit of practice as Total P's as he makes his way down into turn 1, taking flat out, then gradually gets slower down, shifting slowly towards turn 2. 3rd gear for extra rotation. Turn 2 used a lot of track on the, they use a lot of curb coming into the first part of the SS section there. Keep it in 5th gear throughout the whole of it. Down shifted to get the extra rotation through there. Back on the throttle, doesn't take it through 6th gear, doesn't carry a lot of speed through Dunlop. As we make our way into Degner 1 now, flicks it through the 50-metre board, didn't attack the track as much as he wanted, so quite a few, he almost lost the corner on the curb there. Braking in a straight line coming towards the hairpin. Get back on the power, straight up the car. So he lost the car on the curb there at the exit of Degner 2. Now he makes his way towards Spoon. Kisses the apex on the entry. So he takes it through gear, 3rd gear there. Don't see downshifting going off for Total P's there to get the best exits. And Nathan JB has popped himself up into 4th place. Total P's has set the exact same middle sector as Giroud Vizé, so still a decent lap time from Total P's. That tells me he's got a lot more to improve and can move further up and aggressively attacks the last 2 corners there. This lap time is going to be a 28.9 in 2nd place, so not a bad lap time. He goes ahead of Walter despite having a few mistakes on that lap time, so looking very comfortable on those medium compound tyres. Plus he's done 2 laps on those set of tyres as a Haas driver has spun, so is the Ferrari. Danny Boy has spun coming out of turn number 5. So both drivers having problems with the SS section there. Danny Boy was on a lap time. Is he on the same set of tyres? Yes, he is. He's still on the same set of tyres, so those tyres there must be going off as he constantly pushes them on this track. I think it's time to come in for a brand new set of tyres for Danny Boy because Steban, DC, Knight, Mr. BT and Knowsley has not set a lap time yet. Steban's out there, 32.3 in the first sector, missed the apex slightly, so does the second one as well. So didn't hook up Degner, the first 2 Degners right, but let's see how he does there, making his way towards the hairpin. Takes it out wide, he carries the speed out wide as well, so he had no intention of shortening the line there. Esteban now makes his way towards the first part of Spoon. Into 5th gear we go, use the curb in the middle part of it. Short shifting, oh, he almost loses the car there. You could see the rear of the car sliding, but he managed to save it and he's backed out of this lap. I think he has, yes he has backed out. No, he hasn't. He's still continued then, so let's see what he could do then. It's a 12.5 on the soft compound tyres. I've seen people do a 12.3 on the medium compound tyres, so I think Esteban needs a big improvement, and he will come across the line now to set a 1. Goes into 8th place with a 29.2. The Red Bull driver of Nosely then, let's see what he can do as he makes his way now towards the middle sector. This is going to be a 12.7, so a bit slower than what Esteban managed to do. Interestingly, the medium runners are quite close to the soft runners, in not a little bit quicker, because total pace is only about a few hundreds away from AJ, and Nosely goes into 15th place then, so he definitely needs to improve that time. Tim down in P14, who's interestingly gone on the medium compound tyres then. So what I've noticed throughout this qualifying session in 2021, in fact we've got yellow flags everywhere now. Something must have happened. They cleared up rather quickly, but what I'm starting to notice is that people are using the medium compound tyres in Q1. I don't recall anybody doing that in the last game or in any other league, but yeah, I've noticed it quite a lot, so this must be a tactic to save the soft compound tyres there. And this tells me that they're not going to use these medium compound tyres in the second part of qualifying, because you don't want to start in 3-lap hold, 4-lap hold medium compound tyres, because that can make all of the difference in your race. But yeah, this is crucial because Tim is near the drop zone. If he doesn't improve, he has to go on the soft compound tyres. Well, we've got 4 minutes and 50 seconds left, so he's got a bit of time in hand to try and go back into the pit lane and do a soft run. We'll see, we'll see. He comes down to the final 2 corners now. Let's see how he takes it nice and cleanly. Flicks it into the final corner. Short shifting to get traction. Let's see what he can do. It's a 20. He goes into P8. That's not a bad lap time from Tim in 29.2. That's a very good lap time from him indeed. So he's in the top 10, but how safe is he? Rudy's down there in P9. He's currently on the track. He's 1/10 up in the middle sector. He's invalidated it. He's took too much curb on the entry, and he heads off into the pit lane. And Head Bompier's out there in P16. In fact, he's just took me off, Head Bompier. What's going on? There he is then. So Head Bompier has invalidated it. With 4 minutes left to go, he's in the drop zone with a 29.8. He's on a brand new set of the soft compound tyres. He's invalidated it halfway through the lap, so hopefully he's got enough fuel in the car. Tyre wear should not be an issue for a second run on the soft compound tyres, but it's not ideal because you want to get the best performance out of them as much as you can. But Head Bumpy's got 3 minutes and 40 seconds left to do something about it. ISO09, his teammate down in P19, coming through the hairpin. There's 2 cars that hopefully did not get in his way, but it will be a visual distraction for him. ISO09, who secured his best result in CRL. Now he makes his way through Spoon. Oh, a bit hesitant there as the car just snatched away, so he made a correction. I think he knew how he was going to touch the curb, which he didn't want to, because that would have spun the car up otherwise. And Spoon is interesting to watch because there's overtakes can happen in Spoon. You have to get really close behind. And ISO09 is not on a lap. He's at 25.8 in the middle sector. What about Tim? He's going to come back in the pit lane. He's got Danny Boy right in front of him. Danny Boy's in the drop zone. He's on his out lap on a brand new set of the soft compound tyres. I presume Tim will back off because he doesn't want to distract Danny Boy's lap time. Right then, so Danny Boy, who spun on his lap. I think somebody else has just spun as well. Was that an Alfa Romeo? Head Bompier has lost it again. Head Bompier has invalidated it, and there's 2 minutes and 35 seconds left in this session. Head Bompier will not be able to go back in the pits and do a lap time, so he's going to do a 3rd lap on these set of soft compound tyres. He's got 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. I think he should slow down so he doesn't take too much life out of those tyres. Cool the tyres down, bring them back into their rhythm, because there will be a better debut on the tyres. So both Alfa Romeos look like they're struggling as ISO09 is in the pit lane, so he does not go for a lap. iNemo, 8/10 improvement from him in the middle sector. Can this get him into Q2? No, it doesn't. It's a 29.8, and he is knocked out of Q1. Head Bompier, Danny Boy. There's Danny Boy then. He's half a second improvement in that first sector, so that's good signs from him already. Carrying the speed to the Spoon section there. Nice and stable through the rear of the exit of Spoon. Now carrying the speed towards down the straight at 12.4 in that middle sector. Right, we've got a bit of traffic ahead of us. Esteban gets out of the way. The Haas is going to go for a lap time, I think. And Danny Boy makes his way through the final two corners rather nicely there. And this lap time is going to be a 29.21, which does get him into P9, so he's out of the drop zone. That Haas wasn't a lap there. DC, he's currently 400 down in that first sector though. He's currently P14, he's in the danger of being in the drop zone. We've got Tree Griff who's out there on an outlet. We've got Nosley out there who's about to start a flying lap. And Nemo is on another lap, but he's running out of fuel and options, so yeah, this is crucial times. DC improves by a tenth, so that's good for him. Where will that put him? Probably P13 if he doesn't find more time. Probably behind Mr. BT if he can get this final sector hooked up. So where does DC go then? This will be a 29.1. He goes into P9, so we found a bit of time through that last sector. We've got the Red Bull driver of Nosley out there on a lap. Coming to the end of sector 1, his teammate's about to cross the line to start a flying lap. It's a 32.6 and he's invalidated it. Has he invalidated it? No, he's kept it. Surprisingly, he did not invalidate. If that was 2020's track limits, he'll definitely invalidate, but carried a lot of speed and he went out wide through the first part of Degner 1. And the session is over then, so this is their last flying lap times. We've got Head Bumpy out there. What's he doing? He's coming through turn 2. We've got ISO on Night out there. He's in the first sector still. Rudy goes quickest with a 28.5. He did set his best lap time on the mediums, so we went over to the soft compound tyres. It's a 12.7 in the middle sector. That's what iNemo did, so this could possibly keep him in the drop zone. Coming through the final two corners now. You can see the rear being unstable through there because he's in the pits, so he's not happy with that lap time. His teammate is safe unless Head Bompier can knock him out. Here's ISO Night then. iNemo does not make it through to Q2, so it's either Head Bompier or ISO Night who can knock out the Red Bull of Tigriff. That's going to be a shame if both Alfa Romeo start P18 and P19. After a good performance in Canada, it's a 12.7 in the middle sector for ISO Night. What about Head Bompier? Improved slightly through the first sector. It's a 12. Oh, that's not a good lap time in the middle sector, I'm afraid, from Head Bompier. ISO Night then makes his way across the line. It's P17. And what about Head Bompier? Where's he going to go? It's going to be P18 for Head Bompier. So both Hasses then did not make it through to Q2. I don't know why I'm saying Haas, it's Alfa Romeo. Probably used to seeing Haas down the bottom there, but ISO 9 and Head Bompier then. Head Bompier waited for 4 laps on those tyres, so he did not decide to come into the pits to change for a brand new set. Bearing in mind, he already did that, so if he did that again, he would have used 3 sets of the soft compound tyres, but he did find some time in that last lap on the 4th flying lap, so yeah, was it a lack of practice, was it a lack of confidence around here, or just general he does not like this track? Because I know it's not for everyone's favourite, not everyone's cup of tea around here, but yeah, sadly for him, he is knocked out at Q1. He's had tremendous qualifying pace in other previous races, but I don't think this is his style of track. It doesn't suit him at all, and sadly iNemo will start in last place. Tim has got a Q3 ban, so if he makes it to Q3, we'll have to start 10th place. And Total P is the highest medium runner in P3, only 4 tenths off the pace towards Rudy, looking very strong indeed between Pease and Walter. I know those two are having a good competition because they said they're quicker than each other. Dream Visit also on the medium compound tyres. C4 Gamer also on the medium, so he's looking really comfortable there on the medium tyres with a lap time of 29.1. Tim, the last medium runner I think down in P12. Yep, he is. The only figure 8 Japanese Grand Prix here. It's got so much history around here. Sebastian Vettel taking the World Championship in 2011. Button won that race. We had that famous first crash, and more Webber called it a nutcase, nut job crash or something like that along the lines. Romain Grosjean took him out in the first corner. Didn't he do the same thing the year later? Romain Grosjean? No, he didn't, because actually he was leading that race. Grosjean led most of the race in 2013 ahead of Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber. That it was Sebastian Vettel who won that Grand Prix. First Japanese driver on the podium, Kamui Kobayashi in 2012 managed to hold off Jenson Button at the last few laps. Button was pursuing the podium, but he couldn't catch him, and Kobayashi managed to get that podium. Vettel won the race. Not going to talk about 2014. 2016, Nico Rosberg won the race. Max Verstappen defended from Lewis Hamilton. In 2018, where we saw Verstappen versus Vettel down at Spoon. Vettel tried to go down the inside, there was not enough space, and Vettel got sent into a spin. And also the year later, where in fact, the last Japanese Grand Prix we had was 2019, and that's when, Danny Boy spun his outlap. Not quite sure what's going on there between Danny Boy, but yeah, I think Steban's the first one out there. No, that's his teammate, in fact. Where is he? Sevo Gamer, there he is, P8. Yeah, so 2019, the last Japanese Grand Prix we had, that was won by Valtteri Bottas, who didn't take pole. It was the two Ferraris who took pole position, surprisingly, because we all thought Mercedes would take pole, but it was actually Sebastian Vettel who took his first pole since Canada 2019. And it ended up being Valtteri Bottas who won that race, because Charles Leclerc made contact with Max Verstappen at the first two corners. Verstappen retired and Leclerc had damage. Vettel finished in P2, defending from Lewis Hamilton. That famous 130R corner, we've seen plenty of overtakes there before, especially Charles Leclerc and Kimi Raikkonen in 2019. Right then, so Sevo Gamer then on the soft compound tyres. We've got people on the medium compound tyres, Doable, Real DC, Cam Dude and AJ. Those people on the mediums did not use the mediums in Q1, so that's what I'm talking about here in terms of using the medium tyres in Q1 and Q2. We see different people using the medium tyres as Sevo Gamer then nicely hooks up the entrance to turn 1 and turn 2. Didn't take the line he wanted through turn 3 and turn 4, got on the curb and didn't carry the speed through there. So lost a bit of time in the S section. You can see the rear of the car starting to drop off a bit. Now coming to the fast right hander there, take a lot of curb, just want to flick it in. Use a lot of curb, he misses the apex, but he still managed to make the corner through the end of it. Braking in a straight line through the hairpin. So people go to first gear for the extra rotation, but Sevo did not go to first gear there as we upshift our way. And you want to minimise the distance here, keep as close to the grass as you possibly can. First part of Spoon, let's see how it takes. Nicely done. Slightly wide to the exit of Spoon. Might compromise him just a little bit on this straight. Now this middle sector is a 12.0. That's the best middle sector I've seen so far in any of these two sessions, as he makes his way towards the final two corners. Brake at the 100 metre board, mount the curb and flick it in for the last one. Track limits is not much of a big issue through the last two corners as it was last game, and this is going to be a 25.8.6, so that's a good lap time from the Dutchman. And to Griff goes P2 with a 29.3. Next up is the Ferrari, and the Ferrari will go P2 with Mr. BT, Mr. 29.3 as Walter sets the pace of a 28.2, a huge 4/10 quicker than Sevo Gamer. What a lap time from him. Nathan goes P5, 1.2 seconds quicker, so he had a misdemeanor somewhere around the lap. Danny Boy then making his way through the middle sector as Jeroen Visser. Somebody slowed down to that middle sector, causing the yellow flags, but Jeroen Visser's next across the line. It's going to be a 28.4. He goes P2, 2/10 behind Walter in the Mercedes, so not too far away from him. Danny Boy next across the line is going to be P7 with a 31.0, so not a representative lap time indeed. AJ on the medium compound tyres, you can see the rear started to go on that Mercedes, and this lap time is going to be a 29.0. Not a bad lap time, you know, on the medium compound tyres. Rudy goes into P4 with a 28.7, a 10th behind C4 Gamer, and the top four is consumed by the Dutches. And yellow flags everywhere around our lap. Sector 1, and they managed to clear rather quickly, so it won't distract anybody's lap time. Cam Dude on the medium compound tyres, let's see what he could do then. as he makes his way towards the last corner. It's a 42.2, so that definitely needs improving. Total P's in P12, he's on a lap coming through the second corner. Didn't really hook up the second part of the lap, second corner nicely there, but let's see what he could do. Then he spins, the car is in 4th gear, and yeah, back end of the car just slipped away from him. Sadly for him, that's a wasted set of soft compound tyres. He was looking rather strong in Q1, but Q2, yeah, he's got plenty of time to make arrangements, but not an ideal start to Q2 at all. And I think he's going to stay on. It's only set to 1, so I presume he's going to stay on the track, because I don't think he's going to use too much fuel, as Jeroen Visser gives do well a slipstream. Two-time world champion is do well around CRL, as he makes his way towards the final 2 corners. Then, well, he's on the medium compound tyres along with his teammate, who's currently sat in P8. Let's see what the Frenchman can go. This lap time will be a 29.4, and he's in P10. So that, to me, he definitely needs to be on the soft compound tyres to make it into Q3, unless he can find more time on the mediums. So total P's then, so it was only the first part of the first sector, so he wouldn't have used too much fuel or too much tyre life, so he could stay on those set of tyres and continue his way on for another lap. You don't want to use another set of tyres because that will be wasted. Bearing in mind he did his lap time on the mediums anyway, so he's only used 1 set of tyres so far, hasn't he? So it was not too bad for him. That's the advantage then of getting into Q2 on the mediums, because you have extra set of tyres to use ready for Q2 and Q3. Moments like these can come in handy for an extra set, unless he wants to go for one or stays on these set of tyres, which he does do. So yeah, we'll go for another lap with total P's then. 54.9. Turn 1 is flat out, then gradually gets slower as you downshift slowly through the corner using engine braking. If you do it too quickly, you can lock the rear brakes. Mounts the curb. He'll take it through 5th gear through here, keep the minimum speed up. Downshift to 4th, get the extra rotation to the car there. Very difficult part of the track. Through Dunlop we go. Didn't carry a lot of speed through there. Now coming to the first part of the Degner, sorry. And he goes out wide just a bit. He misses the second part of the Degner, but managed to get on the apex rather nicely there. Coming through hairpin. Short shifted to 3rd gear. First and second Degner is Degner 1. It's called Degner 1, not the first Degner. Oh, he spun again through Spoon. He took the curb on the entrance and he spun it again. Dare say he might have to come back into the pit lane, because I don't know how much fuel he's got left in the tank. No flashing lights on the fuel light there, but he spun again. Wonder Pease is under pressure here. He had phenomenal pace in practice sessions, but when it comes down to the actual thing, he is struggling. Will he have to go on a brand new set of tyres, because he's already done 2 laps on those tyres and he's spun them up twice? And what's he doing? Will he go back in the pit lane? Takes an odd route back to the pit lane. Yep, he's definitely coming back into the pit lane. So what about Steban? He's currently out there P15, but he's also invalidated his lap time, has Steban. 6 minutes and 15 seconds to go as he enters the pit lane. We've got a few drivers on their outlap, such as Rudy. Interestingly, Rudy's came out of the garage. He's on a brand new set of soft compound tyres, so I wonder why he switched over. Does he feel like he's not done a good enough lap on those tyres before? He's sacrificed an extra set. Bearing in mind he did set his best lap time on them. No, he didn't. He's actually switched over to the softs in Q1, didn't he? So he's used 3 sets of softs so far. Nice camera angle heading into the final 2 corners. I think I'll name the final 2 corners. I'm not quite sure. I didn't do my research before the actual thing, but I know some corners name. Right then, so on board with Rudy then, he has a 28.7 to his name, making his way through the first corner, carries the speed in, nicely done through the second part of the lap as well. Doesn't have to go down to 3rd gear to get the extra rotation. Now down into 5th gear we go. You can see making steering adjustments to make his way through the S section. And again, it's absolutely spot on, because this is where you can find a lap time. He goes wide and he does not spin the car, he saves the car. Usually in those situations, if you keep the throttle pinned, you can usually just spin through there. But yeah, he's validated it. I wonder what he'll do, because he, in 4th place, does he need to go again? Does he need to risk it? Who else we got that? We've got T Griff out there on the soft compound tyres. Coming into the first 2 corners. He's done 2 laps on these tyres because he's done 2 laps on these tyres. So this is his 2nd flying lap on these tyres. You can see the ERS already being used there. And Nathan's on the cusp of elimination. His best lap time is on the soft compound tyre. Or is it? Yes, it is. His best lap time is on the soft compound tyres. So under pressure is Nathan. A few hundreds down in the first sector. He goes out wide through Degner 1. Now coming through Degner 2. Didn't get the best of exits as he makes his way. And he backs out anyway. So he knows he didn't really hook up that lap as he would have wanted it to. But Tim's out there. He's 1.7 seconds down the first sector, so he's not on a lap time. Let me just enable the telemetry to see what's going on. Is he on a lap time? I'm not quite sure. He did say he was 1.7 seconds down, but he's still pushing. So is he pushing to get back in the pit lane, or is he going to go? He can't go for another lap because he's running out of fuel. So I presume he's just going to come back in the pit lane and go on a brand new set of tyres. He has got a Q3 band though, so his best position is P10. Who else we got out there? Nathan then. We'll keep an eye on Nathan then. It says purple to the first sector, but I'm not quite sure if that's correct information there. Sevo Gamer has retired. He's comfortable in P3. Yellow flags everywhere. Now he makes his way through Spoon. Doesn't touch the curb like other people do. Yellow flags are set to 1, so I wonder if the Aston Martin down there has made a mistake. I think Steban has not set a lap time, neither has Total P's. So 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go. Total P's, instead of attacking the curves, he just needs to get a nice and clean lap to ensure his safety into Q3. We know he's got the pace, but made 2 mistakes. P3 for Nathan, that'll boost his confidence. I know he said before the session he was struggling around this track. He didn't know whether he was going to... Oh! Total P's has invalidated it. He's got 1 more flying lap to do. If he doesn't get it done, he is out of Q2, which is surprising because his practice pace has been fantastic. And that car ahead of him is Dewell. Dewell is in a lap time. That's DC. No, Dewell's on an out lap. So, yeah, Total P's then is under pressure. He's got 1 more flying lap left. If he doesn't make this count, he is out of Q2. We'll keep an eye on Total P's. Meanwhile, the real DC is out there coming through the hairpin. We've got Cam Dude on a lap. He's done 2 laps on the medium tyres. Has he switched over to the softs? Yeah. Everybody's on the softs except Javoon. So here comes Total P's and he makes his way. Hopefully that car gets out of the way, which he does. That's Tim. So he does come back in the pit lane and puts on a brand new set of softs, does Tim. Keeps it nice and steady through the first 2 corners. This one, a bit hesitant through there. Loses momentum coming to the 3rd part. So doesn't really hook up the S section as he would have wanted. That psychological effect knowing you haven't got a lap time on the board yet. You just got to keep it nice and clean and steady for Total Peace. Gets on the grass for good measure as well. Can't really compare the first sector because he's 22 seconds up. Misses the second Degner 2. Let's see how it takes the hairpin. There's a car ahead of us which is Duel. Hopefully you don't distract us. Red Bull has spun, I think. Is that to Griff? Yes, it is to Griff. He's on the cusp of elimination. He's spun through the end of Dunlop. Go back on board with Total P's. This is where he spun last time and he avoids the curb completely this time. Hopefully this lap time gets him into Q3 because we know he's got the pace. Danny Boy is up into P13. The hash driver crosses the line and that's Rudy. Total P's has set a 12.3 in that middle set, so I think it's decent enough to get himself in the top 10. Just got to perfect these final 2 corners. Just keep it nice and steady. There's no need to throw it in there and take risks. Yeah, Total P's should get into Q3 with this lap time. Yes, he should. And he goes up into P7, so we'll just wait for other people. Steban has got up into P5. The Aston Martin driver has finally got a good lap time on the board. And he goes P5, sorry. Tim is about to start his last flying lap. There's a Mercedes, there's an Aston Martin ahead of us. And the Alpine hopefully gets out of the way too. Where's the real DC? The real DC has backed off. Mr. BT also has... No, he's going for a second flying lap. What's his first sector going to be? It's a 32.3. He's improved by 1/10 to Griff's in the pit lane, so he will not progress into Q2. Cam Dude's out there on the soft compound tyres. His best lap time was on the mediums. He completely avoids the curb on the way to the spoon. AJ goes up into P3 with a 28.4. And Cam Dude's middle sector is going to be a 12.8. He's 1/10 down, so he doesn't find any time there. Tim's on the cusp of elimination here. If he doesn't get this perfect, then he will find himself knocked out of Q3. I see Mr. BT knocking him out. Where's Cam Dude going to be? P14. Where's Mr. BT? BT is 2/10 up in that middle sector. Is these 2/10 going to knock out Tim? Tim's still on a lap here, but Total P's could be in real danger here. Here comes Mr. BT then. What's his lap time going to be? It's going to be a 28.9. He knocks Tim out, but Tim's still on a lap. He can do something about it. I know he can't because he's invalidated it, so Tim will not make it through to Q3. Mr. BT has knocked him out. Total P's is safe. That'll play a psychological effect on Total P's because they didn't get the best Q2. Therefore, it'll make Walter and Jeroen's mind at ease into Q3. Stabano in P7. That's a really good time from him. He's just behind his teammate by a few hundreds. Sevo, Gamer and Staban. And yeah, your top three is Walter, Jeroen, AJ and Nathan. AJ and Nathan, big surprise for me because I know they were struggling in the practice sessions, but they're in P3 and P4, so we never know if they found some more pace or got more familiar with the track. It seems so. Both Hasses up there in P4 and P5. Both Aston Martins P6 and P7. Both Mercedes P1 and P3. And Tim did not get into Q3. You can see quite a few people got invalidated lap times. What's the warnings for? Speeding the pit lane or the usual stuff? You see the track limits, cross the pit lane, exit, Mr. BT. But yeah, this will be very interesting then. Who will take pole position for the Japanese Grand Prix in Suzuka? It's okay, Daniel. At least you'll start on a brand new set of tyres. My strategy for you, my friend, is the medium compound tyres. On to Q3 then. Total P's, Jeroen, AJ, Staban, Nathan, Seeb, Dual, Walter, Rudy and Mr. BT. Mercedes driver, first one to come out on the track, followed by the Aston Martin and the Ferrari. Where are we? So Walter's the first man out on the track. Walter's been fantastic this season. Recording as P2 merchant, finished P2 3 consecutive times. He's got 2 wins under his name. He's finished in the top 2 all 5 races. He's just been on form this season, has Walter. Not put a foot wrong so far. Hopefully not the commentator's curse later on in this session. But yeah, he's just been on form this season as Walter. Where did you find this pace from? How did you find the consistency? That's what I wanted to know, especially around here in Japan on a pad. It's usually a wheel track around here, but Walter just seems to find an answer for everything. It's a shame we don't have Ferg, our season champion, defending champion. We can't call him defending champion because he can't defend, as he is away, but hopefully we'll see you back in CRL. He's just done a Nico Rosberg and dipped basically. I know he's got other things going on, I'm joking Ferg, but hopefully we'll see you back sometime. Well, so then here we go then for a qualifying lap. I'll just be silent for this lap time as you can go through. And it's a 28.2, and as we're on a lap with Walter, Jeroen Esteban has crashed through the exit of Spoon. Odd place to crash, I've not really seen anybody crash there, but must have lost it and carried all that speed all the way down that straight. So that Esteban out to qualify, must have pushed too hard on the exit, got in the grass, and yeah, just crashed in the wall. Unlucky for Esteban, but it's this in Q3. And Total P's then will cross the line now to go P2, 28.4, Mr. BT in P3, Nathan in P4, 29.3, so he's made a mistake again. AJ will cross the line next, where can he go? This is going to be a 28.5 for him, and Jeroen Visser has invalidated it. So Seville Gamer up into P4 at 28.6, next is Dual, coming to the final two corners now. Attacks the curbs, which you want to do. DRS open, and let's see what this lap time is going to be. A 28.9 for him. So Jeroen Visser and Rudy are the only ones that are not set a lap time, along with Esteban, who can't set a lap time due to his crash. Jeroen Visser is going for a second lap on these set of soft compound tyres, so let's see how they hang in there, because yeah, you ideally want to do one lap on these tyres, not two, because that's the best performance you can get from one lap. 32.1 in that first sector, attacking the track nicely, using all of the curve on the entry, braking in the straight line, coming towards the hairpin here, kiss the apex here. You can see the back end just stepping out a bit, twice actually, as he applies the throttle. The rear not just sticking in there with him with the downforce he's got. Downshifting all the way down to 5th gear through here. Bring it down an extra downshift, upshift through 5th, get the traction on the exit through here. And let's see what this middle sector is like. AJ's middle sector was 11.9. 11.6 for Jeroen's middle sector, so this could be a contention for pole position if he can find out lap time, but I think he's just run out of fuel, and he's, yeah, it doesn't matter anyway because he's lost it on the penultimate corner. That's Seville Gamer then, just avoiding the action. Yeah, it sounds to me that Jeroen Visser lost fuel before hitting the brakes coming towards the last two corners, because it sounded like he was losing speed. So I don't think he would have mattered anyway making that mistake. So sadly for Jeroen Visser, he does not get to show us what he could have done on that first lap. So he has not set a lap time, has Jeroen. He's at a disadvantage because coming towards the end of the qualifying, if he doesn't set a perfect lap, he'll start P8 regardless. So that's going to play a psychological effect to him. So is Rudy as well, down in P10. Mr. Band's crash, he could possibly move up one more place, but Yeah, shame for Stepan because we don't know what he could have done there. Looks like he had good pace, but dropped it coming towards the end of Spoon. Everybody in the pits then. There's 5 minutes left to go. Who will take pole position? Will it be Walter, Pease, or AJ? Or Jimmy Rizzo? Could AJ bring in a surprise? Can he get the lap perfectly hooked up? Mr. BT looking good in P5 there. So showing some good pace again, like he did in Britain when he was a reserve driver. He can't race too much this season because he's got a lot of work to do, so we won't see him too much, but we'll see him in the odd race now and then. No action in this qualifying session here, which is surprising because you usually get cars out on track, but they're all waiting. All 10 drivers are waiting, well 9 actually. Here we go then, we've got a Ferrari coming out of the pits and that's Mr. BT. Currently down there in P5. Well, it's all quiet out there so far, just read out the championship standings. We won't have a Japanese Grand Prix this year, will we? Sadly. Last person who won it was Valtteri Bottas in 2019. Last pole sitter was Sebastian Vettel, also in 2019, but I remember that Vettel didn't get the best of starts, did he? Got a horrific start and that allowed Valtteri Bottas to get ahead of him. Bottas out-qualified Hamilton actually in that qualified session. So it is Walter who leads the championship by 79 points ahead of Jerome Vizza. Total P's in P3 ahead of Het Bompier. Het Bompier is knocked out of Q1. AJ in P5 ahead of Rudy. Their joint points was 64. Seymour Gamer 62 points ahead of Tim. Tim's got a Q3 ban, but it won't matter anyway because he's not in Q3. But Seb got the advantage ahead of Tim. Duel in 9th. He's currently in 6th place actually, so he's done a good job down there. DC in P10. Just ahead of Nathan. That's surprising by Nathan because last season he was like 3rd in the championship and now he's down in P11, so this season has not gone Nathan's way at all. Just hasn't found his mojo. Look at that camera angle, I didn't realise we had that camera angle. Harvey Lee's P12, Mark P13. Mark, bit of a disappointment this season. I think we overhyped him a little bit in the first race of the season where he took pole, but hasn't really proved anything so far. He's made quite a few mistakes, it must be said, has Mark. He's not here for tonight's race, but yeah, he was a driver expecting further up in the championship. RG Gamma P14, ISO 9 P15, Mr. BT P16, Danny Boy, Louis Ladder P17, Danny Boy P18, iNemo P19, and 1/10 up goes Mr. BT, so looks like he's flying on a lap time so far. And Stepan, who's currently in the top 10, last of the championship with no points to his name. Hopefully he can score his first points. Quite a bit of cars in that first sector, haven't we? Maybe I think those cars on outlaps, fortunately, hopefully holding nobody up. And here comes Mr. BT then to the Spoon section. Oh, is he gone wide? Is he validated as Mr. BT? He was on for a perfect lap time, and sadly he has to back out of it now and yeah, go for it again if he's got enough fuel in the tank, which he should do. That's a massive shame for Mr. BT there. I wonder what he'll do. Will he go back in the pit lane or will he go for another lap? Looks like he's going for another lap is Mr. BT, but we'll keep an eye on other drivers and see what they're doing. Duble improves slightly in that middle sector, and let's see where he could go. Will he get ahead of Mr. BT? We've got a Hash driver making his way towards the line. That's Nathan JB. As Duble makes his way around the final 2 corners then. Let's see what he can do. Will he go up to P5? He is up into P5 ahead of Mr. BT by a few hundreds. That's a good lap time from him. Next one to cross the line is Jerome Vizza, who's on his outlap. Next one is AJ Booth. AJ can make his way through the final 2 corners now. Let's see what he can do. Will he get into pole position? Will he get into second place? What can he do? It's a 28.2. He goes up into pole by a few hundreds. Where's Walter? Walter is on his last flying lap then, so it's going to count for Walter. Makes his way to the final 2 corners there. Where's Total P's? In fact, he's currently down in P3, so we'll keep an eye on Walter and Total P's. AJ's taking pole position. I didn't expect him to take pole because he was struggling earlier on, but good job from him. Can he stay there? Total P's is almost a 10th up in that first sector, so good improvement already from Total P's. Attacking the curbs like he did, like he's supposed to. Making his way towards Rudy's got up into P3 with a 28.3. He joins the second row with Total P's. Well, how's Walter doing? Walter is in 1/10 up in that first sector, so he's quicker than Total P's in the first sector is Walter. Back off for provisional pole. Will it be a Mercedes 1-2? Mr. BT's up into 5th place, so he gets ahead of Duval. Sevo Gamer is in 6th place. And Nathan Booth, disappointment for him, 28.6. That's his slowest qualifying time so far, so the pressure got to him. And here comes Total P's to the final 2 corners then, and he's getting nice and hooked up. Will he take pole position? Giroud takes pole, and Total P's is a 28.2. Where is Walter? Walter down in P4. Can he take my pole? Yes, he does. It's a 27.8. Wow. Obliterates the competition there. 27.8. 3/10 quicker than Giroud Vizza. Comfortably on pole position. While Q3 is over, I will just go to the toilet. Right then, so Walter all pole position ahead of Giroud in P2. Interestingly, only one driver is on the hard compound tyres, which is the real DC. AJ in P4 ahead of Rudy, Mr. BT P6, good qualifier for him. And Esteban has spun. And Tim's gone off the gravel, so yeah, got some action going on the formation lap. Sevo Gamer in P7 ahead of Nathan Booth, Dual in P9 ahead of Steban. Steban's messed up his tyres, so we have to get rid of the gravel on there. Tim in P11 ahead of DC, Griff in P13, Cam Dude P14, Danny Boy in P15 ahead of Nosley, ISO Knight in P17 ahead of Steban, head Bompier, Steban was there, that's why I said it. And iNemo will start in last place on the medium compound tyres then, so let's see what happens then towards the first corner. Plenty of action throughout the first two corners we've had in the past. We saw Raymond Grosjean take out a few drivers there. And the crash between 80 Senna and Alan Frost in that first corner on the first lap. And Foul Fury has joined me. Hello mate.
What up Jamie? How are you getting on?
Not too bad mate, you're just in time.
Yeah, I know. Getting excited for this now. Bouter and your Rowan and P's top three. That should be interesting throughout the race. All three of them are all absolutely rapid around here, so they should be able to do bits now during this race.
Indeed. I wonder who will get off the line the best. Will it be Giroud or Walter? Who gets a good start between the two? Can Toto Peace get a good start and take them both on? We've seen Valtteri Bottas do that in 2019, getting past Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, Wouter's starts are usually immense. Your own can struggle with them at times, but he seems to have hooked them up lately. So it'd be interesting to see how he gets off the line here. And it's so hard to pass around here, so whoever gets into turn one ahead, they have a massive, massive advantage.
Indeed, we'll see side-by-side action between Giroud and Walter in the first two corners. There are the lights then, here they go. And it's going to be light side, away we go then. Looks like an even start from the top guys there. Looks like Toto P's got a better start than Giroud. Yes, he has. As they make their way down into turn one. They go side by side now as we head turn one and turn two. Giroud stays ahead of Toto P's. Mr. PT is fighting with the Rudy in turn one and turn two. They're still side by side now as Rudy yields. Mr. BT yields and Rudy stays in P5 ahead of Mr. BT. Sevo Gamer in P7 ahead of Nathan. Tim has made it one place. He's on the back of Nathan there. It looks like he's struggling.
At the back. Contact at the back, real DC's in the wall in turn two, and then there was more contact then in the S's between Nemo, I think it was, and Knowlesy.
Cam Dude has lost his front wing, so he must have hit the back of somebody. He's falling down the order, and Walter keeps his lead ahead of Giroud. Total P's down there in P3. AJ in P4. Tim has got past Nathan. Is that in the hairpin? Yes, it is. Tim gets a better exit and he moves himself up into P9. Interestingly, Tim does not start on the medium compound tyres. He starts on the softs like Steban, Danny Boy, ISO Knight. So a few others outside the top 10 has joined those on the top 10 on the soft compound tyres. But meanwhile, out in front, Walter has a lead of 5 tenths ahead of Total P's and Giroud. AJ there in P4 ahead of Rudy. Mr. BT in P6 ahead of Sevo Gamer. Dual into the top 10 ahead of Tim, who's made up 2 places off the start. Nathan down there in P10, he's got Steban for company, who's behind him. And Danny Boy down there in P12. So we're moving on to lap 2 of this race. Walter sets the fastest lap of 32.3. DRS will be enabled in the next lap. Total P's is quite close to Giroud. And Rudy's quite close to AJ as well, only 1 tenth behind is Rudy. No moves being made so far. Pitting is Cam Dude, and Real DC does not go in the pit lane, so he stays out there, no damage to him.
Cam Dude gets 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane then, so a bit of a disastrous first lap for him.
Well, in qualifying he did struggle in the first sector, so yeah, I'm not surprised that really happened because first sector is quite difficult. Danny Boy then under pressure from ISO Knight behind him. Bit of a moment coming out of Dunlop did Danny Boy, but it's hard to overtake around the track anyway. To Griff spun.
T Griff spun at the end of the Dunlop curve.
This track is
Done
so
that myself.
difficult.
It's a horrible corner. It's just the rear just snaps on you in the middle of the Dunlop curve just every now and then. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
And then you just lose that, and there's nothing you can do. So it's just going to be so difficult for these drivers throughout this race. There's so many places that this track just bites.
Yeah, it is a very difficult track. I think a lot of drivers have experienced it so far. Very difficult, like you said, because I've done that before at the Dunlop curb. It's just so difficult to get right. You have to get it. You have to get the line absolutely perfect on the way there and on the way out. Look at Rudy, so close behind Nathan. Makes contact at the back of him. No damage done. Around the outside. That's a lovely move from Rudy. Just sweeps his way through on Nathan. AJ. That's a lovely move from him. And up into P4 he goes then. So let's see what he can do then from P4. DRS is enabled. As you can see, the top three all in close proximity, under a second from each other. Can Rudy join in on this fight? He's 1.2 seconds behind, only 2/10 outside the DRS range. And Danny Boy is so close behind Steban. He's got ISO 9 for company, so he's got to do a defending and attacking. Has Danny Boy. Mr. BT.
That move
so
was
close.
so crucial for Rudy's race, so it was, because AJ was just starting to fall off the back of the front three, and then like Rudy now needs to just bridge that gap to make sure that he doesn't fall too far and get caught adrift away from the rest of them.
Exactly. Because, Mr. Beatty's made a mistake to the first Degner. Now Seavorg Gamer is at the back of him. Also compromises line into second Degner. And Seavorg Gamer does not make a move. Mr. BT was putting pressure on AJ ahead of him. Like you said, he was losing pace as Duwall. Looks for a moment to go down the inside. He got a bit of a train behind him as Mr. BT with Seavorg Gamer, Duwall, Tim and Nathan. And another train deformer behind Steban. He's got Danny Boy, ISO Knight, Head Bompia, iNemo and Nosley for company too. So under a bit of pressure of those guys. But Mr. BT was pursuing AJ, but looks like Mr. BT made a mistake on the entry towards Degner 1 and compromised his own line. And Steban's retired in the same place again. And that's a virtual safety car. Crucially, Head Bompia got past Danny Boy before the safety car came out, virtual safety car. So Steban has lost it in the same place he lost it in qualifying, in the exact same place. So yeah, the soft runners are pitting very early in this race, except AJ, he stays out there.
Yeah, AJ would have been double stacked behind Wouter, so he's obviously going to try something different and maybe just stay out on the softs and hope then for another safety car later on in the race.
Interesting strategies going on because majority of the field have stayed out there. In fact, who's Walter down in P11 now? Anybody else going to overtake him? No. So half the field pitted, half didn't. So this is interesting. Interestingly, Walter's on the medium compound tyres. I don't think those tyres can make it to the end. Do you think, Farrell?
I've no idea. It would be a very, very difficult stint, but if anyone could do it, I'd say Wouter. And interestingly, Rudy has gotten ahead of Pease in the stops.
So this happens to DC, and iNemo's half spun the car. DC retakes the position, so both of them have had moments coming into the S section there. iNemo overtook DC, then iNemo made a mistake, then DC got back ahead of him, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But crucially now, AJ's got clear air and track position, but he's not clear the guys behind him. He's got Seavorg Gamer behind him, he's got good race pace, he's shown as Seeb, and Duwall's down there in P3 with Tim. Tim had a Q3 ban anyway, but it didn't matter as iNemo's been overtaken, or Walter's tried to overtake him.
Yeah, he tried to overtake him, but then he lost on traction on the exit. So Wouter is now in behind him, and this is the problem with Suzuka, and especially for these guys who've gone down the back of the pack now, is that we know how fast Wouter is, we know how much faster he is than iNemo, but it's so hard to overtake here. So he could end up getting stuck here, and this could work out perfectly for AJ.
Exactly. Benefits in one Mercedes and not doing so for the other. Walter then, can he get past iNemo in the first corner? He has got DRS, but the thing is though, iNemo has got DRS in the back of DC, which make it 10 times harder for Walter to get past. Unless he can get a really decent exit, which he does. DRS wide open, but bear in mind, iNemo will pick up a slipstream behind DC. iNemo, they go side by side into turn 1. And yeah, Walter gets past iNemo with ease there. We expect Walter to be quick on these medium compound tyres rather than Giroud because he's on the hard compound tyres, hoping for those tyres to go to the end. I think the hard tyres can go to the end, but the mediums will struggle towards the end, so I think it's soft, medium, soft, as DC almost loses it coming out of there. Walter's all over the back of him. Walter's going to be so careful to take the back of DC because they've got massive cornering difference, but it won't matter anyway because Walter's alongside him. And there we go then, into the hairpin we go. Walter will have to go all the way around the outside where he almost overtook Anemo. Has the outside line, better traction, and he's got ahead of the real DC. Then clears 2 cars then in the space of 1 lap. Jeroen Visser 8/10 away, then he's next to try and overtake Anemo. And DC's the next one, but Sevor Gamer is ever so close behind AJ. When will he make an overtake? It could be so soon. Oh, AJ almost lost it coming out of the final corner there. Luckily there's no longer a bump there. And here comes Sevor Gamer then. Tim sets the fastest lap of the race. Sevor Gamer takes the lead of the race ahead of AJ. And let's see, can Sevor Gamer pull away? But he made a mistake into turn 2. And Walter sets the fastest lap of a 1:31.6. Now belongs to Rudy, who's currently in, where is he? He's P13, just behind Jeroen Visser. Rudy's on the medium compound tyre, so he needs to get past Jeroen Visser while he's on the better tyre. And Danny Boy has retired. If that causes a safety car, not do Walter or anyone any favours, that's whatsoever. And it's a virtual safety car. Who do you think's got the best strategy so far at foul?
It's very interesting. If there is a safety car later on, I think those on softs are in great shape. I don't see how Wouter's going to take mediums 24 laps. I know he's a special talent, but 24 laps on mediums around Japan, that'll be some stint. As I said, I'm very interested to see exactly how did Rudy pass Total Peace, because they all pit at the same time, and then Rudy came out, and now all of a sudden he has a 2.5 second gap, and he was behind Total Peace by nearly a second going into the pits.
Maybe could Total Peace got a hold up in the pit lane? I'm not quite sure. Maybe he made a mistake coming out. Anyways, virtual safety car has came back in. Maybe Total Peace made a mistake when he didn't see it, or Rudy just managed to overtake him while we didn't see it. But AJ is outside the 1 second range of DRS. That's crucial for his race because it'll allow Duval and Tim to be on the back of him still, and it'll give Sevor Gamer some breathing space behind, or ahead shall I say. Tim is so close behind Duval. His qualifying mistakes cost him dearly because he's got some good race paces, Tim, but in qualifying he made a few mistakes. Bearing in mind he would have got a Q3 ban anyway, so it wouldn't made a big of a difference because he started P11, but he started on the medium compound tyres, but he didn't. He started on the soft compound tyres, and Walter's next target is Knowsley ahead of him in P8, who's got Head Bompy and ISO Knight ahead of him, all in one closed DRS trainers. Jeroen Visser has overtaken Anemo, but somebody's further down has made a mistake. That's T. Griff again, who's made a mistake down into turn 2. Odd one because that was just down into turn 2.
Yeah, you were saying about Tim that qualifying seems to have just held him back, and that just seems to be a bit of a feature of his season. He seems to struggle with quali, and then he just comes alive in the race, and then he's just siding through the field every single time.
Sergio Perez?
Basically.
So Jeroen Visser has got a car in between himself and Anemo. Rudy is all over the back. He goes off the track slightly, does Rudy. And Anemo makes a mistake coming out of Spoon. That'll allow Rudy to get even closer. And he goes along. Oh, don't. Come on. There we go. Bit of wheel banging there between the two as Rudy has got past Anemo. Luckily that did not end up in the wall. Glad it didn't. AJ set the fastest lap, so he has up in his pace, AJ. But bearing in mind he's used a lot of EOS in comparison to Sevor Game. He's almost down on EOS, whereas Sevor Game is in that 68% zone. So Steve looking really comfortable as Anemo's in the pits. Interestingly, he's DNF, so I don't think he's really happy with his race pace so far because he's just been struggling.
I think he must have gotten damage or something because he went really deep into the chicane and he came back out and he cut straight across Pease. And I think they made contact, so I don't know if Pease is after sustaining damage in that now as well, which wouldn't be ideal from his teammate. Oh
yeah, indeed. Pease was 2.5 seconds behind, he's 2.3, so he's getting a bit of time. Bearing in mind Rudy was stuck behind Anemo, doing his teammate a little bit of a favour there, as Jeroen Visser has now caught the real DC and has to get past him as quickly as possible because he don't want to get held up too much behind, otherwise Rudy will be making a move if he doesn't get past him on those medium compound tyres. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that battle. We've got a few battles going on this track. Jeruvaza is there with Rudy just behind him. If Rudy can get in the DRS zone, bearing in mind... Oh! C4 Gamer! A mistake for C4 Gamer. Not what he... Oh, he was in a really comfortable position in the lead as well. And he's made a mistake. Oh, that's a massive shame for him. Has he lost his front wing? No, he hasn't. I don't think he... did he touch the wall or did he just did a spin?
I think he just did a spin on the exit of Spoon, like... he must have touched the curb or something like that and then just spun it around. And it's just cost him massively. Like, now he's down and he's the next car to Fouter.
Walter says the fastest lap of the race. That's a massive shame for C4 Gamer. Was comfortable in the lead. Now Tim is stuck behind these two. Duel is doing a really good job as Jeruvaza has got past the real DC, has moved himself up into P10. Now we can set about closing the gap between Walter and catching that DRS train ahead of him. Rudy needs to negotiate his way through the real DC as quickly as he can as well, so he doesn't get hold up and ruin his strategy. Meanwhile, up at the front, it's so close because Tim is just so close behind Duel. Will he make a move into the hairpin? No, he doesn't. I thought he was close enough to do it, but thinks wisely, because if he does that, he might lose a lot of time and therefore be off this train.
Yeah, I'd say there's one man who's loving this train, and that's Duel. He's just sitting there waiting in the pack. He's not going to make a move on AJ. He's just going to sit there, save his ERS. As you can see, he's on 87%. He's just going to save his ERS, chill in the pack, wait for everyone else to make mistakes around him, and then he's just going to pick up the positions as it goes on. He's loving this.
He is indeed. And Duel look like he's so close to AJ. AJ has used all of his ERS. He's going to be vulnerable down the straight. If he doesn't be careful, he's a really good exit quick at these final two corners, which he does do, because if he didn't, he'll be vulnerable down the straight and be overtaking a sitting duck on the straight. Nathan is in the pit lane. Is Duel chance to pounce now because AJ hasn't got any ERS. AJ moves across to the left and Duel does not go down the inside BS. He has Tim alongside him. Into turn 2 we go. Duel stays in second place, so I think Duel... Do you think Duel needs to be a bit more aggressive than that, Fowl? Do you think? He had the chance to do it. He had so much more ERS compared to AJ. But he ended up defending from Tim.
It's not the Duel way though. He's a real cerebral driver. He always thinks, and he's just thinking away, and he just sees the long game in all of this. So I don't think that he's going to risk a move on AJ. He knows that AJ is going to pit soon. He's out of ERS, and then I think Duel's going to set a blistering in lap, and then he might make the overcut work. He's just on a different level in terms of the way he thinks about racing.
Teammate in P10's doing a good job on the hardcore powered tyres. He's currently behind Jeroen, defending from Rudy. Oh! Tim almost lost it. He had a tank slapper coming out of Spoon, but he managed to save it, thankfully. That was a very hilarious moment for him. But Rudy is on the back of DC. Needs to get past him as quickly as he can. DC's done a good job defending for 2 laps, but Duel is 1/10 behind AJ this time around. Is he close enough to make an overtake? Will he use his ERS a bit more? It doesn't matter anyway because he's in the pit lane. But where's Rudy? Rudy is going to go down the inside of the real DC. Here we go then. It's the final 2 corners. And he cuts him off completely. He doesn't give him any space whatsoever. So Rudy then up into P10 ahead of DC. That was hard but fair racing from Rudy there. And he has run out of ERS. Total piece, that's the fastest lap.
Yeah, Rudy is an uncompromising racer to say the least. But he's very fast, and I think that move was quite fair. So we move.
See plenty of moves like that in the past before between drivers, so I'm not surprised it happened because you don't really want them to have the best. I can't describe it really. You just want to cut them off completely so you can get the best exit coming out of there.
Yeah, I think Tim's softs are dead because every single traction zone he's just squirming all over the place, and he's just starting to fall away from Duel just that little bit.
So Nathan has done the undercut on his team brother then in P13. Nathan's ahead of AJ, just ahead of AJ. They both stuck behind Mr. BT down there in P12. So the undercut has worked for Nathan, but he's stuck behind Mr. BT while AJ is also stuck behind his brother. So let's see how that evolves then, because let's see what Tim do. Will he get stuck behind Mr. BT? Will he stay out there? They're coming towards Spoon now, Mr. BT, Nathan and AJ. And somebody spun. That's a Haas. That's Nathan who spun.
Nathan.
And into the pits comes Duval.
Well, just when you say that, Nathan's pulled off the undercut.
Oh. Well, the thing is though, AJ's lost a lot of time behind Mr. BT because it was like 8/10 away. Now he's 2.3 seconds away. So I wonder if he had to slam on the brakes to avoid his brother.
Or if they even made contact potentially.
Yeah, because like AJ was like 2/10 behind him, so he must have been up his rear end. It must have like. I'd love to see how that happened because maybe AJ had more cornering speed or was confident. And he's rejoined just ahead of I709, so luckily that didn't cost him too much time. But Duval has rejoined ahead of AJ, so AJ losing time behind Nathan has cost him dearly, and Duval has done the undercut ahead of him. So, like you said, you predicted it well, didn't you, Farrell?
I predict these things. You know what I mean?
I want to see Tim's pace now because Tim has got clear air ahead of him. He's in first place. I wonder, can he do the overcut on Duval? Bearing in mind, like you said, he was struggling through the traction zones. Knowsley's in P3 on the medium compound tyre, so he's doing a good job down there.
And Head Pompier in second.
Oh yeah, he struggled in qualifying. He was knocked out in qualifying. I think he started P18 or P17. Now he's in P2.
I think he had a quali ban as well.
Oh, so is that why he pretended to struggle? Tim making his way through the final two corners. Will he decide to come to the pits this lap? Yes, he does. He's a perfect pit stop. Can he get himself ahead of Duval and AJ? Maybe AJ, but Duval is going to be so close between the two.
Duval is just coming into the final chicane now.
He's got Mr. BT ahead of him now.
Yeah, Mr. BT on old hards. Just giving him that dirty air. Can he get it done?
Wait, what happened to AJ? He's behind ISO09, and here comes Tim. Then he has not overtaken Duval, but he has got ahead of ISO09. ISO09 lost the car slightly, but he managed to save it. But AJ, Farrell, he's behind ISO09. I wonder what happened to him.
Yeah, like he seems to have been caught up in that incident with Nathan. Whatever happened, I know we missed that, and it just meant that he's after getting overcut by everybody now. Like Knight passed him, Tim passed him, Duval passed him, and he's down there now in 13th. And he'd been having a great race before then.
I think he might have slight front wing damage, judging by the way he's turning in, because he's used a lot of steering input than he would have before. He's just taking the corner slower as well, so I wonder if he's got better front wing damage. Maybe he had an accident with Nathan because they were so close behind Mr. BT, then all of a sudden they disappeared from each other. And AJ
going on Sieb. Is he? He's not going to do it in 130R, is he? No. But he's going around the outside.
There we go, around the outside of Sieb. Game of go. Can he make the move? Yes, he can. But will Sieb have DRS? Walter goes a bit deep there. Will Sieb Gamer have DRS, or will it be Walter? Walter has DRS, so he keeps himself ahead. As Head Pompier has been overtaken. The lead goes to Knowsley in P1. Knowsley is our new race leader, and Head Pompier in P2.
Yeah, we're up to P3 now on this lunatic strat that he's trying to do. I'm trying to do the whole race on mediums, basically. Like, you're looking at him and thinking that he has fresher mediums than the cars in front, but they're only 4 laps newer.
Yeah, very true indeed.
The pace he has here is unbelievable, as he sets a purple first sector.
Look at that. Mr. BT is holding up Duval and Tim, costing him a lot of time.
Yeah, Tim all over the back of Duval coming into Techno 1 now as well.
So it's good. This is good racing between these guys. Head Pompier and Knowsley having a good old scrap. Sevo Gaming and Wild as well. Tim going down the inside. Oh, contact's been made. Careful, Tim. The door was firmly closed.
Yeah, Duval's not going to get overtaken with a move like that. Yeah, you have to think a lot cleverer than that if you're going to get past Duval.
Thing is though, I think AJ has got full mid damage because Nathan's behind him and he's losing time to ISO and Knight. I don't think it's his confidence. I think he has actually got car issues. So AJ then falling into the clutches of his brother again, and Rudy has overtaken Javu into final 2 corners. We go so close between them.
Side by side. Oh, and you're on loose at the back end.
Where were we before? We were with Dougal, weren't we? So Tim is right behind Dougal. This has been a battle brewing since lap 1 between the two. Dougal's also got DRS. Tim is using his DRS to try and get past Dougal, but he don't want to use it in the wrong places. Here comes Dougal then, and Mr. BT. And Mr. BT sticks around the outside. Tim's hit the back of Dougal. And hopefully he hasn't lost any part of his front wing, because Mr. BT stuck it around the outside. Who spun? That's DC spun.
And Fowler's passed Hepbumpy into Degna 1.
That's surprising, because Walter wasn't that close behind him, but yeah, he has. So Walter has made a move on Hepbumpy for P2. Look at the gap that Nosely's pulled away from Hepbumpy. Yeah, so while all that was going on, DC hit the wall and spun, and he's down in P14, lost all of his front wing. And meanwhile, Mr. BT is still holding up Duel and Tim. His defence has been amazing so far, has Mr. BT. Yeah,
Nathan's gotten past AJ as well. There's another move that's after happening there. So AJ's really struggling since the stop.
Sevo Gamers came out on a brand new set of mediums. He's rejoined behind AJ. I presume will overtake him due to fresher tyres and that front wing advantage that Sevo Gamer has. There's too many battles to keep an eye on, but we'll try and keep an eye on them.
Yeah, Duel all over the back of Mr. BT. He has to get past now soon. He's losing too much time now.
Come on, Duel, you have to get past him. DRS enabled again, and look at that, Mr. BT has used all of his DRS, so this should be easy for Duel, and here he goes then. This should be an easy move. Tim needs to follow through soon. No, he does. He hits the back of him. That's the second driver he hits the back of in the same corner. This time, does he have damage? Yes, he does.
He's dropped a long way back.
Yep, he does have damage. He wasn't patient enough. He didn't adapt to Mr. BT's cornering speed there, because there could be a big cornering speed on the mediums and hards, and therefore it's cost him, and there's his consequence. Don't race him into here. You don't want to do that. No, you don't want to race him into here, because that would happen.
Oh, yeah, that was incredibly inevitable.
I could see it coming. I know that was not going to work at all. It was either both making contact or him going in the gravel like he just did. So Sevo Gamer that does not get past AJ. He needs to make it work though to get himself back in the top 10 like he was before. He was leading this race, but he spun coming out of Spoon, and that's what cost him, I dare say. He's going to be kicking himself with that one. These two were race leaders, and now one of them spun and one of them's got damage as Hepbumpy enters the pit lane for a brand new set of soft compound tyres. Sevo Gamer will be making his move rather soon, because AJ has ran out of EOS. He's got none left in his disposal, and we'll see him go down the inside here. Will he make an overtake before the straight? Looks like he's going to go for it. Let's go side by side into the last two corners. This should be an easy move then on the straight. Hepbumpy will rejoin in P12, I think, behind these two. He rejoins ahead of Nathan, so in P9 on a brand new set of softs. Let's see what he could do. We've got medium runners ahead of us, we've got hard runners ahead of us, and you got yellow flags as well. That is Cam Dude, who's just spun and lost his wing in the AlphaTauri there. Let's talk about Nosey's performance. He's done a fantastic job.
He has. He's been fantastic. He's been up front. He's made overtakes. He hasn't made a single mistake that I've seen so far. Going to come under a bit of pressure now with this alien behind him.
I think he should come into the pit lane, because he's fighting. Realistically, he's not fighting whilst he's fighting Hepbumpy. He's on a brand new set of sauce, so I think he should protect himself on the undercut.
Yeah, one thing I have noticed is that Fowler is starting to lose time to Rudy. So I'm starting to wonder if maybe those mediums are starting to go off.
Rudy's on the same set of mediums too.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
But Pease is also closed up onto the back of your own. So the two of them now on hards, which should be better now at this stage of the race. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on.
I feel I can sense a top 10 finish coming from Nosely if he keeps this pace up. He's pitted on a brand new set of softs, and where will he rejoin? Between Hepbumpy and ISO on night. Will he get ahead of Hepbumpy? And Cam Dude has retired, hopefully in the pit lane, so no safety car will be brought out. Where will he rejoin? Look at that, he comes out ahead of Hepbumpy.
Oh,
so
Rudy's made a mistake.
Oh dear. The side by side total Pease and Rudy. And Total Peas has made his way through on Rudy. So Rudy's lost 2 places in one there. What happened to him, Fowl? Did you see it all?
Yeah, he just lost it on the. I think he hit the curb going into the S's, and he just lost it then, and he just lost all momentum. And if you lose momentum in the S's, then you're screwed for the rest of them. Your own got passed straight away, and then Rudy desperately fought Pease, so he did. He pushed him so hard, but Pease eventually got past. And now these two hard runners now have a free shot at going at Wouter and seeing if those tyres can fall off.
So we'll keep a marker of a gap at 8.5. We'll see if it decreases or increases. But Total Peas is right behind Jeroen Visser. And will he go for it in the 130? I think he should back off and wait for it. Yeah, he does. Looks like Total Peas has got more pace than Jeroen Visser so far. Makes his way to the final 2 corners. Needs to set himself up nicely into turn 1 to get this move done. Right,
yeah, Pease is showing good pace. He lost a lot of time behind Nemo and whatever happened with Rudy and everything like that. But he just gradually been reeling in your own over the last few laps. I think he's probably the fastest man on track now.
He is indeed. Up into P2 he goes, and Nathan and Sevo Gamer are having a fight for P10. Knowsley up into P7 ahead of ISO 9. He's had a fantastic race, is Knowsley. And Nathan up into P10 then ahead of Sevo Gamer. AJ is still in P12, he's dropping down, and we've got Rudy spun
Yellow
again.
Flags.
Yes, he's done it again.
Yeah, I'd say he's cooked those mediums now at this stage.
Tim set the fastest lap of the race, down in P13. What could have been for Seb?
Oh.
What could have been for Tim? Who knows? But yeah. 8 laps to go this race. Will Total Peas closing the gap on Wouter? Will those medium compound tyres start to drop off? Because it looks like Rudy started to struggle on those medium compound tyres so far. Will it be the same for Wouter? Who knows? But we know Wouter is consistent with his pace and his talent and skills.
Yeah, and we know Pease is a bottle, so if he gets close, he'll probably mess it up.
Anyways, Rudy is under pressure from Dual behind him. Dual's right behind Rudy. And on those fresher medium compound tyres, look like Rudy is going to fall back into the clutches of Dual and Mr. B2, who's down there in P6. Dual's had
Rudy's going to be easy pickings for Dual here now.
Let's see as we come down the straight then. Rudy hasn't got really enough ERS to defend from Dual. Here he comes then. We go round the outside into turn 1 we go. Hope he keeps it nice and clean, which he does do. And up into P4 we go ahead of Rudy. And those tyres keep dying off. Sevo Gamer has got past Nathan for P. Oh, he's gone wide. Will that allow Nathan to come back in turn 2? He has the outside line and stays ahead. So Sevo Gamer then stays ahead of Nathan at the time being. But those tyres keep getting worse for Rudy. He's going to be falling down the order. Mr. BT's next. And on the soft runner is Knowsley down in P7. You've got to watch out for.
It shows the insane level of talent that Wouter has, that him and Rudy pitted on the same lap, put on mediums together, and Wouter's in the lead by 8 seconds, and Rudy looks like he wants to go home.
Well, interestingly, Knowsley, Knight and Bompier have all gained 9 positions at the start combined. So all 3 of them had a fantastic race. Knight again with his consecutive points finish, and Het Bompier as well. Knowsley in P7, sorry, gaining 9 positions so far from this race. So that all 3 of them have done a really good job. Dual's gained 5 positions. He's in P4 from P9. Rudy and Mr. BT stayed where they started, but that could change soon because Mr. BT is behind Rudy, who's lost all of his EOS. He's got 0%, so he's got absolutely none left in the tank to use down the straight. Rudy is crucially in the DRS range of Dual. Keep him safe from Mr. BT so far, but they'll be having Knowsley at the back of him soon. Well, he is at the back of him now, so we've got to keep an eye on him. He's going to be rapid towards the end of this race. Who else to keep an eye out for? I think Het Bompier down in P9 on those brand new set of sauce as well. He could be a threat towards the end of this race. The gap was 8.5 seconds, now it's 7 seconds between Pease and Wouter. There's still a chance for them to close in.
Yeah, and Pease has taken half a second out of Wouter in the last half a lap alone. So surely now it's time that Wouter's tyres are starting to die.
Oh, Mr. BT almost lost it coming out of the second Degner 2 there. Still keeps it on the road. He can be careful now because he's got a nosebleed behind him. Old hards versus new softs. I think it's quite clear who's going to win out that battle, unless he can defend for his life. Yellow flags, that is a Haas driver, and that is Nathan. Yeah, so both Haas's there spinning, following the trends on Nikita Mazepin.
Who said this game isn't realistic?
Mercedes in first.
Haas is spinning. What a game.
On the straight we go then for lap 22 out of 27. 5 laps to go in this race. Can Total P's close in on the lead for Walter in P1? Giroviza is also there as well. Duels in P4, Rudy's in P5. We've got this DRS train from P4 to P7. And at the back of the train is Nosy at a brand new set of softs. He'll be charging to the field, but Mr. BT has made a mistake. He went on the grass on the entry to the S section. He'll compromise his line throughout the whole of it. And yeah, Mr. BT stays ahead for the moment in time being, but he can't afford to be doing that too many times. Gap is 6.8 between the two. As AJ sets the fastest lap of the race with a 29.5. Knows he can finish in P4, that'd be a fantastic result for him. But it's going to be quite difficult with a DRS train ahead of him and 3 cars who all are close together. DRS train around Suzuka is not really helpful at all, bearing in mind it's already difficult enough to overtake. 2 of them ahead are very low, so Knowsley can afford to use EOS more than the 2 combined, because obviously they're running very low, but Mr. BT is so close behind Rudy. Look at him weaving. Not quite sure he wants to do that.
No, the 2 of these have been blinking for the last...
Oh no! It's all gone wrong!
No.
I'm not quite... He hit the back of it, but I'm not quite sure if Nosey hit the back of Mr. BT, causing a domino effect. But Nosey's right behind him. BT's going to defend, but he can't do it. Will he take 2 for 1 because he's got more EOS? He takes one of them. What about the other one? He's going to go down the inside? Nope, he thinks wisely about it, but they're so side by side now. Yeah, Mr. BT has got full wind damage, by the way. So that contact between him and Rudy has cost him a lot. That'll allow the 2 behind him, ISO Knight and Het Bompier, to get past. He's got to be careful. Get past Mr. BT, don't hit the back of him. Okay, oh, don't make a move here. This is going to be so tight through here. ISO Knight has got a pass, but Het Bompier is right at the back of his teammate. They're going to work together because they're in both in 7th and 8th place. They don't want to lose any points by squabbling like this.
Yeah, surely Knight has to let Het Bompier through. He's on fresh softs. Let him go and attack the runners in front.
Seavor Gamer has also overtaken Mr. BT. A whole 4 down. I think it's time for him to go in the pit lane. And the gap between the top 2 is 5.6. So Pease has taken a chunk of time out of Walter. There's 5 laps to go. 4 laps to go in this race. Can Pease close in on Walter? Will those tyres start to drop off? Judging by that, the tyres are fading on those medium compound tyres, as you can see.
Yeah, and also looking at the Knowlesy and Rudy battle, Rudy's dropped off and he's lost DRS, and he has 10% ERS, so this should be easy for Knowlesy now into turn 1.
I could dare say Nosey would be my driver of the day because he's done a fantastic job. I think he got knocked out in Q1. I think he did anyway. Not quite sure. Let me go check it again. Yeah, he did get knocked out in Q1, but here comes Nosey on Rudy. And yeah, the overspeed he has, no challenge for Rudy.
Yeah, Knowlesy through to P5. Next is Duell.
Het Bompier picks up a 3-second time, but he's just got past his teammate, so I wonder if they're going side by side and Het Bompier's used all of the chuck on the outside.
Yeah, that would be a dumb move from the Auto Boys if that's what's happened, because there's no penalties for anyone else in the grid. So
yeah, that's very interesting in fact. I'd love to know the performance on Walter's tyres. Walter does not get phased easily, but does he?
No, he's pretty unflappable. I can imagine he's in the party chat and he's just like chatting away to Pease and bullying him, saying that his tyres feel amazing and everything like that. And yeah, in reality, everyone else would be trying to spin out as a Mercedes spins. It's AJ.
Oh, dismal race for AJ. One to forget for him. He qualified on the top 4. Now, yep, he's down in P13.
Gap is down to 4.7, and Pease has gotten your own finally out of DRS.
Could it be too late though, between Walter and Pease? If you never got hold up behind those guys, I wonder.
Yeah. I think the best chance for Pease has to hope for now is a mistake from Wouter, which usually doesn't happen, but when you're on tyres this worn and a track this difficult, anything's possible.
Indeed. Meanwhile, there's going to be a battle between 7th and 8th with Sevo Gamer, ISO Knight and Het Bompier for 7th place. Het Bompier has got a 3-second time penalty, so he's got more pressure than these two behind him, but Sevo Gamer looking for a comeback drive after he made that mistake, after leading the race early in the part of it, but yeah, it's not going his way at all. Four seconds now, 3.9 between the top two.
It's just falling and falling, but it's not going down quick enough for Pease.
It's fallen down at the wrong time for him.
If he just didn't come out behind Rudy and have that little incident with Inemo, he'd be so much closer now. 3.6 seconds.
I would love to know how Walter keeps this pace and manages his tyres as well, because I won't be able to do that at all.
Yeah, he's an alien.
.6 now, the gap between the two. 2 laps to go of this race.
Yeah, like Pease is taking a second a lap out of him, but it's just not enough.
Meanwhile, C4 Gamer is right behind ISO 09. He's got a yellow flag. That's an Alpine. Is that Pease? Is it Pease? No, it's not. Who is it? Anyways, there's 2 battles going on in front of us. We've got Het Bompier versus the hash driver of Rudy. It's your own. Het Bompier's got past Rudy, and C4 Gamer stays behind ISO 09. So we've had 2 battles going on in one. And C4 Gamer did not get the move done on ISO 09, but crucially, Het Bompier got past Rudy for P6, so good recovery drive from Het Bompier now. Rudy is under massive pressure, he's falling back, and unlike Walter, who is not falling back, Tim's got a 3-second time penalty. They're both on the same age as tyres as Rudy and Walter, but the thing is though, Rudy's losing a lot more time in comparison to Walter. ISO 09 is next to overtake him, and so is C4 Gamer.
Yeah, your own spin there now has promoted Duel up to the podium, and he now has Nolsey all over the back of him for P4.
Oh, keep an eye on that battle. Nice to see Duel back at the podium if he stays there. And ISO 09 all over the back of Rudy for P7. Meanwhile, like you said, Nosley on the back of Jeroen Visser, who's running out of EOS, and Nosley will pick up P4 after starting P16. What a result from him. 2.1 between the top two. And ISO 09 has got past Rudy. Next is C4 Gamer. Not what he wanted, because he was fighting Knight. But here we go, on the straight then. Jeroen is powerless to defend on the straight, and here comes Nosley. Easy doings for him, easy pickings, and up into 4th place he goes. Meanwhile, further behind,
your run will be so frustrated there.
3 wide into turn 1. Is it gonna? Oh, I was so close. I don't know how they managed to not make contact, but ISO 09 stays ahead of Rudy. They were 3 wide headed into turn 1. That was unbelievable stuff from these 3, and they kept it clean as well. I don't understand how that happened, but yeah. Rudy's absolutely struggling.
2 seconds out of Wouter, but he's still just. I'd say if he had one more lap, he could get him.
Just one more lap. A C4 Gamer is stuck behind Rudy. He wants to get past him as quickly as he can. Yeah, total P's though. Has he got enough time to overtake Walter? If Walter, he's just teased him on the last lap. Walter's done an epic performance so far. And C4 Gamer is tucked in behind ISO 09. He does not get past him into Spoon. Ferrari has spun though, and that's probably Mr. BT down there trying to set the fastest lap. But anyways, to the final 2 corners, Walter will come across the line to win the 3rd race in a row at the Japanese Grand Prix. Total P's 1 second behind. Duel will pick up his first podium of the season ahead of Nosley. Nosley was so close behind for a podium on his debut for CRL Cone 1, but He did a fantastic job as Jeroen Visser in P5. Rudy's been overtaken by C4 Gamer. Head Bompier P6 after a good recovery drive. I S5 R02. And Rudy into P8 ahead of C4 Gamer. Rudy stayed ahead of C4 Gamer, so he did not get past him. Head Bompier drops into P7 with that 3-second time penalty. Next across the line is Tim. A race to forget for him. He started where he stayed. He finished where he started basically, and he comes across the line to finish in P11. Mr. BT will finish in P12. The real DC in P13 with AJ behind, so there's a battle for P13. I wonder if AJ will just send it down the inside. No, he doesn't. Stays behind him. So Mr. BT has a 3-second time penalty, so I think DC and AJ will get promoted ahead of him, unless AJ gets him across the line, which he does not. DC picks up 12th. Wow, what a fantastic race. Do you know what? I actually thought Walter was not going to win this race when he made that pit stop on the medium compound tyres, but yet again he used his magic and finished in first place. There we are, our podium sitter at the Japanese Grand Prix. We're just waiting for the 2 other drivers to join and we'll get going. All 3 drivers are in then, so we'll start with Duwell. Duwell, that was an amazing race from you. Your race pace was fantastic, putting pressure on AJ in the earliest part of the race. You managed to get ahead of him in the pit stops, but you must be happy with P3, mate. It's been a long time coming.
If someone told me I'm going to get a podium today, I think I would have fucked this man up, because no practice. I don't like the track. I don't know where that came from, to be honest.
So how was your pace in the race? Did you not struggle at all, judging by no practice? Because a lot of drivers struggled in that race.
I just wanted to stay on the track, get no penalty, trying to be smart with DRS train and knowing what people are doing about strategy. So I just did my race, and that came from to P3. So it's hard to believe, but yeah.
Yeah, the two-wheel train was in full effect there again today.
Yes.
And you just used that as a good effect then. And then when your own went off, and then what was your feeling then when you saw that Williams in the gravel?
I thought it was Tim, to be honest. I didn't think it was John. And when I overtook John, I was with DC in the party, and I was like, my heart is going to explode, mate. Let me.
Oh, apologies about that. Well, a fantastic race from you, Duel though. Managed to get yourself into P3. Was it P9 you started?
Yep.
Very good job there, mate. You just kept it clean and consistent, didn't you? You knew when to overtake because you saved a lot of EOS, and you had a lot of pressure from behind you as well. I think it was Tim or something like that.
Yeah, team for the first wall steal, it was teams.
You kept it nice and clean and managed to pressure really well, applying the pressure and defending from it too. So, good job from P3, mate.
Thank you, thank you.
Total P, so we'll move on to you, mate. P2 again from Walter. Talk us through your race.
The last 5 laps were the hardest, the most focused I've had to be. I thought after the first VSE came out and I came out behind Rudy because I got held in the pits, I thought, okay, Valter's gone off into the distance. Yeah, Valter's gone to the distance. He's probably on the better strat, but I questioned how those mediums are going to hold up. But yeah, so I went on the hards. My hard pace was actually really, really good. Like, it was better than I thought it would be. And I got clear of Yaron, and Rudy made a mistake which allowed me and Yaron past him, so after that it was just clear air. And I knew Valter's tyres were going to be cliffing, like on the edge, so it was just push, 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 and I think one more lap and I would have had him.
I bet you were so frustrated when you got close to him that you realised you didn't have enough time.
Yeah, I think there's little stuff in the race that happened that I'm frustrated about, because I think had they not happened, i.e. getting held in the pits, stuff like that, I may have got the win, but oh well. This was P2 is still better than I thought. I thought I was going to get P3, P4 after the first pit stops.
You closed in on Rudy anyway, so Rudy made a mistake, didn't he, in the S section?
Yep, he let me and Yaron slip through. It was close between me and him. We had to go side by side, do quite a bit of it, but in the end it worked out.
Are you still happy with P2 despite what happened?
Yeah, points are points. So we still move. Because like I said, I didn't expect to get there anyway.
Your qualifying pace was good anyway, and your race pace was good. You closed in behind, but it just wasn't enough. So hopefully, better luck next race.
Yep, for sure. Thank you.
I think that puts you even closer to second place man Giroud visiting the championship, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it gains points because of your own mistake on the second to last lap. So it's just about collecting as many points as I can until the end of the season, because anything can happen really.
Yeah, you're doing a really good job this season, mate.
Thank you very much.
After the first race, you've definitely improved a lot, so must be said, you've been doing a good job.
Thank you.
Walter, 3 P2s and 3 P1s. Just can't get perfect than that, can you?
No, it's been a really good season, overall, pace-wise as well.
So, did you think it was the right strategy going on hard, medium compound tyres? Because did you think the mediums could go to the end?
I knew the mediums were gonna last long. Like, I knew it would have. I knew they can go to quite far. But I was really hesitating when the future safety car came out, because I didn't know if I pitted because I thought it might have changed into a real safety car. So I kind of had to get it out of the way.
Were you nervous about those other drivers holding you up, allowing Pease and Jeroen get closer?
Not really holding up. More the tyre's not gonna last till the end.
You still managed to make it last anyway. The gap between you and Pease was a second. What was you thinking in the last few laps?
The gap came down quite quickly, but I had to keep my tires alive, because I was literally I was doing everything to minimize the tire wear, and it allowed Pease to catch up really quickly. So probably one more lap it would have been over, but luckily.
How do you manage to make these tires last, by the way?
Tire safer merchant.
He was massaging them.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy the way you drive and manage the tires as well. Good job on P1, Walter, extending your championship lead over Jeroen and Pease.
Yes.
Thank you.
How are you feeling for the next race?
It's Portimao, no?
Is it?
I think it is.
Break weekend in Portimao, yeah.
After the break, I feel comfortable in Portimao. It's done a few laps already and felt good overall, so I'm looking forward to it.
And what about you, Pease?
Did you say Portimao's next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do me well. It's another one of those tracks where one lap, not so much, but race pace definitely there. So I'll just see how I can go through that race.
Do you think you struggle more in the one lap pace than you do in the race pace? Because I noticed in Q2 you made a few mistakes, didn't you?
100%. Yeah. So one lap's definitely not my forte. I'd say I'm much better, more consistent over a race. As I saw, like Euron, I think he had pace, but I think I just had him in terms of pace, especially on that hard stint.
And what about you, do Will?
Oh. I don't like the track.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I'll see you all. Thank you, Fal, for commentating with me, mate.
No bother, man.
See you
Always
all
a
next. You say there was a break in between.
Yeah, it's break week next week and then Portimao then the week after.
We'll see you all in 2 weeks at 8:30 for more action around CRL at Portugal. Thank you.